Being unemployed can be an incredibly frustrating time for anyone, especially when it's becoming a lot harder nowadays to secure a more meaningful job. Over the last year, there's been a massive increase in the UK's unemployment rate in both young and experienced workers, who are all now probably searching for the same type of sustainable work, which subsequently puts a lot of pressure on the employers, as they've now got to be even more rational when it comes to selecting an applicant. At Kenny Waste Management, we will equally consider everyone for our positions, and Zach is a perfect example of that. Before joining us, he'd already been unemployed for a large amount of time, and he was really struggling to find a job where he could learn, grow, and develop his career. This all changed, however, when he started to talk with one of his friends who worked at our facility.
So I play cricket outside of work, and one of my mates who I used to play cricket with, he worked here at the time as well. So with me being unemployed, I got in contact with him and asked him if there any chance you can give him a good word about me and to say I'm looking for a job, I'm looking to do anything. That's when I got an email off Amanda to send her my CV. So I sent her my CV in and she said, well, we've got this job going. I think it was on the picking line. I said, yep, anything, I need a job. So I came in for my initial interview. I was sat down at the bottom of the stairs and then Paul came down and went, are you here for an interview? I said, yeah.
My first impression of Zach was a very well-presented, young, local lad. So I asked the question, what's he here for? And he was here for a job on the picking line. So I know what kind of environment the picking line is, and I didn't particularly think that Zach was suited for that. I instantly just thought that he probably had a more refined set of skills than working on the picking line. So I jumped in and interviewed him on the spot. I just asked him a few questions. It wasn't a formal interview at all. And just got to know him a little bit, what he was all about, what he was doing, what he wanted to do. And I just thought he'd be great for the business. So we gave him a job in the customer services.
I overheard Ted one day saying that he weren't enough drivers. So I thought, right, well, I love driving. As soon as I got a car, I was out in my car all the time, driving everywhere. So I spoke to Ted and asked him, well, I'll do it. I'll be a driver. First question was, am I old enough? Because I was only 21 at the time. So I thought you had to be 25 to drive a truck. So when he said you only have to be 21, I thought, right, brilliant. Paul came back to me and said, right, we can put you through your test. We can put you through your ADR training to carry the hazardous goods, and we'll sort out a training agreement. And then I did all my lessons, did the ADR course, passed it all, and I'm here today, fully qualified driver.
You never know whether somebody's going to take to driving HGVs. They are a different animal to a normal car. I'd been told, because he'd been doing a bit of van driving, I was told that he was a good driver, which is normally a good indicator as to how someone's going to do with HGV test. He then goes out with our driver trainers, so he'll go out with them before being let anywhere near one of our vehicles on a public road or on one of our customers' sites. And the feedback from that was, yeah, he's good, he's attentive, he concentrates on the road, he concentrates on his mirrors, and he's good at manoeuvring, he's good at reversing, that kind of thing. So I think he was just a bit of a natural. And it's important that you are a very good driver when you're driving such big trucks, because that's important for the business.
When my mum found out I was going for my Class 2 licence, she kind of hated me a little bit, because when she was my age, that's what she wanted to do. She wanted to be a truck driver. And then I came along. So now I like to take the mick out of her because I'm living my mum's dream. Hopefully in the near future, I want to be Class 1 so I can drive like the articulated lorries. It's something I want to do because it's that driving side, and it's basically driving a big boy toy. Even with being a Class 2, it opens up so many doors, because with a lot of companies going online now, companies are crying out for Class 2 drivers, for wagon drivers, whether it's a Class 2 licence or Class 1. There's a lot of demand out there for drivers. So even with me being a Class 2 going into a Class 1, I could do anything. I could be travelling over the world driving. I have been given the opportunity to progress in job roles. They've seen that I'm a good worker, basically. And in the past, I've spoke to Ted about doing my Class 1, and he said he'd happily put me through it. So they must have a bit of confidence in me if he's willing to do that.
I think Zach's invaluable because he embodies what we're trying to do. We're trying to find young people, young local people, to bring them into the business, find what they're good at, what their particular aspirations and wants and needs are, and then put them into an area of the business where they'll be happy and we'll be happy with what they provide. If you can take somebody quite raw, who's not really been given a chance, then I think you've got a good chance of getting a good level of commitment out of that person. I think the one thing that we are very good at in this business is taking people in listening to them, telling them that we expect commitment out of them, that we expect them to turn up every single day on time and to go that extra mile if we need to, because it's a hard industry, the waste industry. Things go wrong, vehicles break down, waste is a very different commodity to deal with. There are unforeseen things that can go wrong and very often do. So it's not a 9 to 5 type job. So if you're prepared to be committed to the business, put the time and effort in, and prepared to listen and learn, this business will give those people opportunities.
I think it's a brilliant place to work for. Like from day one, I've got along with everybody. There's a lot of banter, and if you can take banter, then you need to come and work here because banter's brilliant. There's a lot of opportunities. It don't look like it, but there's so many job roles at this place. It's unreal. You can be in the office, customer care, transport, driver. There's a lot of opportunities. So if you do come to say working on the yard, picking the waste out, I think the welders in the garage, I think they started off as working in the yard and now they're the welders. So there is that opportunity to build up, and I think I'm an example as well.
Zach's employment story demonstrates that even if you're unemployed, there are still people out there who are willing to invest in your potential and future. When we later learned about Zach's ambitions to become a qualified driver, we wanted to offer him the opportunity to get the necessary training so he could grow into that very role. And he successfully achieved that. Today, he's doing a job that he's truly passionate about, and he's even been inspiring other employees to follow in his footsteps. And it's the success of people like him that really encouraged us as a business to launch our own social enterprise, Driving Change, which aims to replicate this story so more people can change their lives for the better. At the end of 2020, we achieved our goal of employing an additional 20 people through this scheme, with 17 of them coming from a challenging background. And this was just one of our first steps, as we've now set a number of other targets that will completely reshape our entire organisation for the better. So if you'd like to know more about how we are breaking down the barriers to employment, or how you could support more people like Zach, please don't hesitate to get in touch.